about mail merges, and I'm going to be using the web client today. If you are using the LAN client, the menus might look a little bit different, but the functionality is basically the same. I just got some alerts here in my web client, so I'm just going to snooze those. And then I'm going to go over here to the contacts room down the left-hand side of the screen and pull up our contacts here. And it's brought me into the list view, and I'm just going to click on John Alfred down here about halfway and bring up John Alfred's record. So I want to get myself to a client record, or a contact record, I should say, before I go ahead and do my mail merge. Now, I can do a mail merge to a group of people. I can also do it to just an individual. So if I'm going to do it to an individual, of course, I want to pull that record up first. Once I've done that, up in the top part of the screen, you'll see here that I have a write menu. Now, if you do not have a write menu, it means that the Outlook integration or the Word integration has not been installed yet. So if that's not showing up as your menus, make sure you talk to your administrator and get them to show it there. I'm going to just click on Write there. This looks very much like the LAN client, where it says write an email using a template or a letter using a template, mail merge, address labels, and manage templates. So I think we're going to go in and play with a template a little bit first of all. So I'm just going to go into, from the Write menu, into Manage Templates. And it brings up my Manage Template screen, and this looks exactly like it looks in the LAN client. And up in here in the top, I'm going to click on New. Now, before I click on New, you'll notice that there's two folders here, Public Templates and Private Templates. Even though I'm logged in as the administrator, I'm still going to be creating a private template. The only way you can make a template public is to go into your Architect, into the plugins, and actually release that to other individuals. So I'm going to click on New, create a new template, and I'm just going to call it here Customer Letter. Up in the top, I'll choose Letter. The family, I can put it into the letter family. The contact table, here, the main table. Now, this is really the only difference between doing a mail merge for a contact or for a lead, is the main table, and that's going to decide which fields you're able to insert into your merge template. So for this one, I'm going to choose contact. The owner here, I can choose who is the owner. I'm going to choose the administrator as the owner of this template, and I'm just going to click on OK. When I click on OK now, it's going to go ahead and open up Word for me. So you must have Word installed on your computer in order for this to work. And you can see the hourglass running there, so it's trying to open up Word here for me. There we go. Now you should be able to see what is a version of Word. They've changed it up a little bit in here. If you want to see the Word menu, you can click on Show Word Menu. But there's some other menus up in the top. The Insert SalesLogix field, we'll be using that. All the most common fields are listed there that you would be using in your template here, as well as you can always go to More SalesLogix fields, and it brings up a little screen here where you can access other fields in the tables that aren't listed in that original list. Click on Done there for a second. We also have our Save and Close up in the top. Once we're finished here, we'll save and close that. So now if we look down in our template, obviously we don't want to have SalesLogix in there, so I'm just going to highlight that whole box, hit my Delete key and get rid of that, as well as the address box over on the right side there. I'll get rid of that whole thing right now. So then I could go in here and insert, and here you've got pictures, clip art, shapes. So of course you'd want to insert your own image file for your logo. I'm going to go down here they've got address line 1, address line 2, the city, state, and zip, and the country. So right in front of address line 1, I just click there with my mouse, and now I'm just going to hit enter, then use my up arrow, and I am going to insert the account name. So I went to the SalesLogix insert menu up on the top and chose insert, and I'm just going to choose account name. And there, put in the account name. At the end of that, I'm just going to hit my delete key. It brings the address line 1 up one line, and then holding down my shift and enter, I can get that back down a line. I'm also going to get rid of the country field. I don't want country on my address if I'm just dealing in the United States here. And then in the dear field, they're using the salutation field. I'm not going to use the salutation field. I'm just going to delete that. But I'm going to go up to my insert SalesLogix field again, and I'm going to choose first name. So now it's going to use the first name of my contact. I'm just going to put a comma in there. Then if you have another letter that you want to paste the body of that letter into here, you can certainly do that. You can go in and, let me see if I show my home menu file. I could save this, but I could go open another version of Word and go open your template or your letter that you want to copy and paste, highlight and copy. Don't do that first of all. Do that after you're in here, because SalesLogix does not like another version of Word running while it's trying to do this template. So make sure you start the template first, then you can go open another version of Word. And you can just paste the body of that letter right in here. Now it says sincerely down at the bottom, and it has user info, username, and user info title. So who's ever running this letter, it's going to put their name and their title down at the bottom. Now there's some other things we could do here. We could, of course, insert, rather than the username, I can insert the account manager name and the account manager title, and even the account manager phone number. So it's actually taking that from the user file, and putting in the account manager's information. So if you have a staff person, admin person that's actually running these letters, maybe it would be better to use account manager rather than username. If the individuals themselves are running the letters, then you'd use user info, username, and user info title. So for this one, I'm just going to highlight both of those, and I'll hit my delete key and get rid of those. So if we had the body of our letter here, we've got it going, coming from the account manager down at the bottom. We have the account address. The contact's first name is already in there. Then, of course, we can type or paste any body of the letter we want. For this month only, we are running a 10% discount for, and I'm going to insert account name. Please take advantage of this by calling 1-800 sell something. Okay. So there's our template. Once we're done with our template, up in the top part of the screen, then I'm just going to click on Save and Close. It closes that. It has place set underneath the private templates, underneath letters. Here it is, my customer letter. If I forget the name of it, I can always go in here and show preview. When I choose to show preview, it's going to bring up that exact template that I created and show me what it looks like. So I can go, oh, that's right, that's the one I created. It wasn't the company information template. There it is. Yep, that's it. I can also choose to show that with merge data. So if I want to see that with actual information, then I just click on Merge Data, and it would show me it with Merge Data. I'm not going to do that right now. Let's just close this. So now a week or two goes by, and I actually want to run that template with this record, John Alfred. So if I go up to my right menu, WRITE, and this time I'm just going to choose Mail Merge. And the first thing it asks me for is my template. So I'm going to go in here to Templates. Underneath my private letters, I find that customer letter. I'm just going to highlight that. There it goes. And then click on OK. So I've chosen the letter. When I choose that letter, now you see in the area here where it says Merge With. I can merge it with the current record, John Alfred. I can merge it with the current group, which is all contacts. Or I can choose a specific group, and this is where you'd go out and choose a group of contacts, most likely contacts. You're not going to really merge it with a group of accounts. So a contact group, or I can say specific here and choose either account or account or opportunity groups. So I'm going to stick up with the top one for this one, just for the current record, John Alfred. It's always going to show me if I do a count how many there are going to be. There's just going to be one. Down in the bottom here, besides the fact that this is a contact mail merge, we can also choose whether it is email or printer. So this is the only difference between an email template and a printer template is what we choose here. I'm going to choose printer, but you'll see here if we choose email, then it gives us some options to put in a subject, attach a file, what format we're going to put it in, who's it coming from, who's the blind copy to, who's the copy to. Whereas if I choose printer, the only option I have is to choose my printer here and set up some printer properties. I can also choose if I want to create the address labels right from here. Normally I don't run those together. I just run them separately. I can go back in and run a report afterwards to create an address label if I want to. So we're going to concentrate on the actual template here. So I've chosen my template. I chose that it's going to go to the current record. I chose the printer I wanted to print to. Now down in the bottom there's some other options here that are pretty important to go through. The first option here says edit individual letters prior to sending. That means it's going to go ahead and merge the data with the template and stop and allow me to see my actual letter before it prints out. That way if I want to add any additional notes on it, I can do that. If I'm doing 10 letters, I can go into each one individually and customize them the way I want by stopping at this point. Now, of course, if you've got 100 letters, you don't want to be customizing and going into each one of them, but if you want to change one or two or add a line to one or two, you could certainly do that. Now, if you want to change them all, you choose the second option here, which is Edit Template for All Records. That's going to open the template first of all and allow you to customize that template for this merge only. So let's say we've got Memorial Day coming up. You could open up the letter, the template here with the second option, type in the bottom, by the way, have a great Memorial Day weekend, and then go ahead and continue with your merge, and would put that at the bottom of each one of your mail merge letters. And then when it puts the template back, it's going to take that off, so it's not going to stick on there. The last option here is just do not send to contacts marked do not solicit, and that's good. We won't want it to go to them. Now, if we jump way back to the top of the page here again, we've got another tab here called History Options. If I click on History Options, you can see here the first checkbox there says Attach letter to each contact. May slow the merge. That's going to attach each one of these mail merge letters to the specific contact under their attachment tab. A lot of times that is not necessary. Maybe you only want to put a note on the record saying that you did send out that customer service letter or introduction letter or whatever it is. We can do that with this second option here where it says add history record for each contact. So it's just going to add a history record rather than attaching the entire letter. So in the notes here then I could just put in sent out customer service letter, and of course it's going to date and time stamp that entry into the notes and history. The one last thing we can do of this is schedule a follow-up down in the bottom. So it says it's going to create a follow-up for every one of them. This is, we can put in a few requirements. So I'm going to put in, please call and see if they received the customer service letter. So this is going to go ahead and put this in your activities, and then this would be an activity you could complete. Okay, so we put an item in history, we'll see that, and then actually schedule a follow-up call for the 4th. Let me see, it's got a meeting. Let's take call for, let's not go with the 4th, we'll go farther out. Let's go for the 21st. Carry over notes. It's timeless. We're just going to call them sometime that day. And let's go ahead and do that merge, see what happens here. So it's starting to merge it. Depending on what checkboxes I had checked, I think I had edited before it sends it out, so I think it's going to stop here and show me that letter. On format user, object does not support this property or method. Unexpected error there. I don't know. I ran this just a little bit earlier and I didn't get that. I wonder if it wasn't, one of my fields wasn't formatted correctly or something. But at this point then, it would have put an activity underneath my activities. Let me see. Yeah, it's neither one of those, so it didn't complete with that activity. But it would have put an activity here for John Alfred to call him on the 21st to follow up on that letter. Also in the notes and history, it would have put an entry in there showing that we sent out this letter. Let me try running another letter I have here. Let me go pick a different context. I'm going to go back over on the right here. I'll choose Mike Anders. Pull up his record. Let's go back up to right again. Manage templates. Oh, I didn't want to manage. We're not going to create a new one. I want to do a template, so I'm going to go right mail merge. Let me choose the template I created a little bit earlier today. Customer letter. Let's try that one. And I'm going to do it with the current record. I'm going to edit prior to sending those. Under options, I can make sure it adds a history record. Sent out customer letter. And let's schedule a follow-up phone call. Follow up on letter sent out. I can set my priority and my category and all the different options I need here. And it's timeless, and we'll carry over the notes, and I'll put in a regarding here, discuss opportunities. And let's try that again. Let's see if we can merge this one. I'm going to go ahead and merge. start the merge, and we did get this far last time, so let's hope this one doesn't error out. There it goes. Okay. I don't know why it's erroring out. Like I said, I just ran it a half hour ago, and it ran fine. It could be one of the fields in the template itself. So let's go back up to the Write menu. So what you're going to do when you want to write templates, you're going to go to Write and Manage Templates. Once you go into Manage Templates and create a new template, it's going to end up as a private template. Now, if we want to release that, we're going to go here. I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to open, let me see here. I'm going to open my architect. So I'm going to go here into my SalesLogix. And I'm going to choose Architect. And I'm going to open the Architect. And in the Architect then under Manage Plugins, the Project Manager opens. I'm just going to cancel that. And in the Architect itself, I'm going to go to Manage Plugins. Under my plugin type, I'm going to choose Templates, Mail Merge, uncheck the other checkboxes. Say OK. And now it's showing me all my templates. I can always search by last modified. Just by sorting by that, it's going to put the ones I last modified right up at the top of the screen. If I highlight like the customer service letter, I can then go up to the top here and click on Release and release that to everyone. Once everyone would do a Control F5, then that would be released to everyone and they would be allowed to use that record or use that template. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and close out Architect, exit. I can go back to SalesLogix here, and then of course I could write template. I'm not sure here. Let me see if I F5 that. If it shows up here yet. It's refreshing the database now. Now if I go to Write, Mail Merge, and look in my templates, there's my customer service letter. So it's now been released to everyone and is up in the public letters, not in the private anymore. Now, the administrator, the one that created that, would still see the private one and the public one because they own the original one, but they've released it to everyone. Then you would continue on with all your different settings for your output, whether it's to a printer or email, and merge your letter. Now, you can also, remember, you can also do this for leads. So the only difference with the lead is when you go to Write and go to Manage Templates, when you're creating a new template, you have to make sure to choose the main table lead. Because when you do that, let me hear, you're going to end up with different fields than you did with the contact. So you can very well insert the contact's first name and last name into your template if you're expecting to get lead information, because leads are in a whole different table than the contacts table. The contacts are in the contact table, and the leads are in the lead table. So here it's opening up Word again. And once we're in Word, we can insert SalesLogix field. Now you see down the left-hand side up at the top here where it's putting in the lead first name, the lead last name, the lead title, the company name. So this is all information about the lead now rather than about the contact. So you have to make sure that you choose whether it's contact or lead when you create that template. If you're doing the same template for both the lead and contact, you have to do two of them, one for leads, one for contacts. Now, if you've got any questions on creating mail merge templates, you can certainly go out to the goodtraining.com and look at the SalesLogix user group forum. and post your questions up there. If you've got any recommendations or you would like to see some different webinars on different things, certainly let us know out there also. I want to thank you all for joining me today, and have a great afternoon.